What if the time is not now? You don't have to do everything you want to do in this exact moment. Hey guys, and welcome back to this new episode of Complexity of Contrast. Today we're gonna talk about something that I honestly didn't know until an hour ago because I felt so inspirationless. I don't know what it was. I normally, like literally every single week, something just lights me up, triggers me. There's this instant spark, and I'm like, that is what I want to talk about. But this week, I don't know what was happening, but now I finally have a subject, and I think a lot of people need to hear this, myself included, literally. What if the timing is not now? How often have you heard that the time is now, it's your time, you should make everything out of your life? And honestly, I love this mentality. I love the fact, like, Carpe Diem vibes. Yeah, of course, you should try to make the best out of life now that you still have the opportunity to live. I truly love that aspect. But at the same time, I think nowadays we tend to pressure ourselves in ways that we end up doing nothing or not being fulfilled by the things we actually do. And honestly, if I look at my personal environment, oh my god, let me tell you that I'm surrounded by beautiful human beings. But we all kind of have one thing in common, and that is that we want to do everything now. We are ambitious, inspired, and we have like certain goals in life that we want to achieve. We visualize it, we fantasize about everything that is possible, everything that we could be doing, want to do, whatever. But we all feel like we have to do it instantly, that now is the time and we never get this time back. And yeah, in some way that is true. You're never gonna get that time that you spend scrolling or whatever, doing something you love. You never get the time back. So yeah, indeed, your time is precious. But on the other hand, I think we tend to view your time is now in a way like we have to rush things and that this is the only time it can actually happen. And I think defining it that way can lead to rushing things that do not need to be rushed, feeling frustrated by the fact that you have not achieved XYZ yet. And let me tell you that there's nothing wrong with being ambitious, with fantasizing about everything you could possibly do and what opportunities are out there, what possibilities you strive for, etc. I think those are beautiful things. But I think we're so focused that everything needs to happen now that we tend to forget that over a year, the moment we will live is still the now because we're living in that moment. And what I mean to say with that is that all the goals you have, the whole list, all the ideas, all the dreams you envision for yourself do not have to happen in this exact moment, instantly. I mean, of course, we tend to compare ourselves with people and we see them on social media or within our environment and we see what they've already achieved, at what age, under what circumstances. They seem to have everything figured out, and of course, we would love to be like that. We would love, that's a whole question for itself if we would actually want to switch places with anybody. But apart from that, what I want for this episode is actually to ask you something that I have been asking myself lately. If I would be on my deathbed right now and would look back at the things that I've done, would I be proud? Could I be okay dying that way? And I think this is a really reflecting question, and maybe it's really deep, maybe you do not even want to think about that yet, because I totally get it. But to me, I kind of had this realization that if I would die in this exact moment, I would know that I have gone through certain things, that I did things that I love doing, and that I would be okay. Of course, like, you can always spend your time in better ways, you know. I mean, how many friends could I have seen when I like decided that I just was scrolling for hours? Like, of course, you could have done way better things in those hours. But my whole point is that I hope you find acceptance in knowing that even if you have not achieved everything of your bucket list or whatever list you have made up for yourself that you want to achieve, can you be okay knowing that if you do not have achieved everything on that you still made the best out of the time you have had? And that is, to me, honestly, what your time is now means. It is not trying to pressure yourself into doing everything and all that you have on that list, what you want to achieve in life. Because honestly, in most cases, that is not even possible. Even though I know a lot of people believe in manifestations, and of course, those can help. But would you be okay to accept that if you have only achieved XYZ on that list, would you be proud of what you have done? Would you be okay knowing that that was what you chose to prioritize? Because I think that is what this is all about. It is about prioritizing. It is not about achieving every single thing you have on your mind, everything you want to do, every passion, everything you see for yourself in the future. Because honestly, yeah, it would be really cool to like tick off everything you had envisioned for yourself. But do you want to put that pressure and maybe the rush you start feeling when you think about, I don't know how much time I have left and will I be able to do all those things? Maybe if you shift that perspective to, I have this list, it would be great to achieve every one of those, but I prioritize 3 of them, for example, and I'm just gonna go for that. And I will be okay knowing that I have tried, knowing that I went for them, even if they did manifest or not. Because we tend to live in this all or nothing mentality. It's either you check off every single thing that you dream about, that you want to achieve, or nothing. But actually, what if you decide that checking even one of that list is better than knowing you haven't tried at all? Yeah. I think the true question is, would I be okay with the priorities I had set for myself? Because this is gonna link to a personal story of mine. I applied for university and I actually got rejected. And the thing is, I do not even feel that sad about it. I feel a little bit indifferent. But the thing is that what it truly showed me, that rejection, was the fact that I went back to a list I made at the beginning of the year of the things that I wanted to achieve, that I envisioned for my future self, and that if I could get to that point, then that would be amazing. And actually, after the rejection, I looked at that list and I realized of all the beautiful things that were standing on that list, going to university was actually not one of them. And I need to tell you that I would love to go to university. Honestly, I'm a person who collects life experiences, and being a student and living abroad or in a student home, like whatever, they're all life experiences that I would love to get to experience one day. But would I be okay with prioritizing maybe not going to uni yet and doing something else first? And that is where this realization truly came to me. Like, would I be okay to focus more on my creative projects instead of going to university first? Because honestly, I felt the need to do all at once. I felt like I needed to do the creative projects during my university time, and I had to do this and build my own business and had to blah 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 and travel, etc. Like, I wanted to do everything all in this exact moment. So it was all about, like, what am I prioritizing? And there is not one choice that is wrong or right, that is less worthy. No, it's all really personal. That's completely up to you. Nobody else can make the decision that feels right for you. And maybe at the moment, no decision actually feels right. That's also totally fine. But I do believe that if you can live with the priorities and decisions you make, then that is the most beautiful gift you can ever give yourself. That's honestly, to me, the whole essence of our existence is accepting and being okay with everything we decide to do and for what reason. So, yeah. And what I said at the beginning, what if the time is not now? That is what I meant. Like, what if the time is not now for me to go to university? Or maybe, what if it is not now the time that I go traveling or start a creative project? Like, you cannot expect yourself to do everything in this exact moment. And I know that we feel this pressure from the people we see around us or our friends telling us stories. Like, I know that some of my friends actually felt pressure because I decided to go abroad for a while and travel and do this and that and language learning, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I in some ways felt pressured by people who were studying because I was like, I do not have the life experience yet. And if they're doing it now, maybe I should do it now too. And why can't I just combine everything? That is simply because my priorities were different. And I can live with the priorities I have made so far. But what priorities you set are up to you. And that is extremely difficult because that means that you might have to follow a different path than the people around you. But I think it's beautiful in a way that, yeah, it is our time. It will be our time every single day, every minute. So, yeah. I hope this is going to be more like an inspiration instead of a way of pressuring yourself. I think it's more a way to reflect on what have I done so far and how would I want to see my goals for the future. Not expecting them to all manifest in this exact moment, but to set priorities and, yeah, go for what you want to go for because your time is valuable. So, yeah. And I also want to say that if you choose something right now, it doesn't mean you cannot do it at any other time, you know? Like, of course, the Carpe Diem really suggests that you do not know how long you have to live. And even though I think it is good to take that into account and truly do the things we are passionate about instead of only the things that are expected from us, it shouldn't be this big thing that you're constantly worrying about how much time you have left because you simply do not know. Maybe you have 10 years left, maybe 20, maybe 30. Know that every day is gonna be your time. Your time is always going to be now. So do the things you want to do, but it's okay if they don't all happen at this exact moment. So, yeah. I think honestly that was what I was meant to say for this episode. I know it was really fake and maybe you didn't get anything of it, but then at least I hope you enjoyed listening to my personal brain dump. And yeah, I still hope that you enjoyed it and maybe that you got some new insights, new perspectives. So if you feel called to leave a review, then definitely do. Let me know what you guys thought and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Bye.